Hello, everybody. Welcome or welcome back, whichever one is the right one to start with. This is our channel. How are we doing? And I hope you're doing as good or decent as I am. And by that, I really just mean super grateful still for the recent increase in subscribers. Where do I begin? I'm wearing an old shirt. It's arguably old. I practiced in it, sports in it once. But I brought it back because last week's episode, I would never want to actually wear a button down sort of after last week's or the week before's episode. I think that's how that works, right? No. I sort of had trouble cropping a photo from last week into last week's thumbnail because of all the dialogue which occurred. So having said that, never mind a couple weeks ago, this week I've covered up my chest hair, which I'm quite happy to do. And nobody can smell through cameras yet, so here we are. Moving on. What else? Didn't really. In terms of what happened last week, one of my favorite segments. Didn't really do any spring cleaning except clean that thing, by the way. And I just wanted to mention that as a footnote. There's not really much going on here. It's dusty as hell, and as you can see, the moths are thriving. So yeah, I have some dishes in the sink right now, actually, and I don't plan on tackling them. Oh, but you could, until maybe later. You can see I got a comment about making my bed. Quite a mess my bed always is. You can see it a little bit. I've sort of, at least for the week, I should probably say the moment, I've made it look nicer for once. But if you look, you can see through the mirror there. There's no pillows because I'm sitting on them. Such great posture and framing here. And then I got this thing under my desk which carries a piano. I suppose I could, configure it to do sound effects. Not gonna happen, but it's bulky and my legs are, how do I say, touching right up against it. Okay, pointless details. Did we get them all out of the way? No, one more thing. I upgraded my internet, so I suppose it really is a reality now that we can go live as early as next week. I suppose. I mean, I've still got these tabs up for like whatever OBS is. Let me remind myself. OBS, StreamYard. Maybe the two best options are the ones that I know about. I've said this before probably, but as long as I know that another YouTuber that I like and trust and admire is using one, I'll use it. So that makes me tend to lean towards StreamYard, which is probably expensive. Haven't really looked into it yet. Either way, we're sort of live if I'm correcting my bed sheets. Aren't we? Tell me what to do, people. What else? I wanted to sort of not talk about my week this week, which would be exciting. I feel like last week, that whole episode, I feel like I was dodging 1,000 razor blades, and hopefully it panned out and didn't go terribly. But we won't necessarily touch up on any of that, and just bringing it a little bit down to levels which are more entertaining, arguably. I went out, I I suppose this is for entertainment's sake, really, but I went out to a public place, and once again, more. I'm really hesitant to say creeps, but it is a little creepy when you're having a conversation, natural conversation with somebody, and one of them, even if it's 7 or 8 people, which it was. Excuse me for the camera shutter. I'm going to do my best. And one guy says, "Oh, I'm going to write that down. Here, I'm going to write that down. Actually, I'm going to write that down." However he said it. The reality is, some of this banter, it's like if you talk to somebody, I don't know, in public transport or something, some group of people, and then somebody goes, "Oh, that's great, I'm going to write," but not to mention, if you're talking about how to open conversations with people and you're spreading, let's say you're going to spread that. I tried to investigate him a little bit, interrogate, whatever the term is, what he was going to do with writing something we're talking about down. And he didn't give me any feedback. But if you're gonna talk to people about how to talk to people, then isn't that spreading that word? I mean, it might be good, but you might equally be, depending on how shy or maybe even confident, I suppose, just depending on the other person. Does he want to take this information, or is he going to kick it out of his life because he thinks he's better than that, possibly, or that he's not going to take from other people? Like he might be the kind of guy that'll read about something, and because it's helping him directly with talking to other people, and nobody gave him that information by mouth, then maybe he could apply that. Maybe I would think, at least in my case, I would think you read something, you definitely don't apply it because you could be like called out in the wild, right? So like, I'm not trying to do anything manipulative because I don't want to get caught, sort of stuff, right? So all this applying is what I mean. I realized I was moving my hands too much because I thought it was me and the little thumbnail in my background here, but it was actually a thumbnail, excuse me, camera shutter, of some other guy teaching chess or something, which, I'm not going to talk about that either. But anyway, so yeah, so what are you doing? You're writing it down on your phone so that, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's weird. It's just weird. And then they kept calling me by my name after that. Once was like, "Oh, enough." And then the second time I was like, don't stop saying my name. And they laughed at that. But yeah, that kind of, environment. So it just so happens that because somebody else grabs it, I feel like I have to talk about it. And it's another one of these pickup lines. Arguably, it's not really. I wouldn't be that. We're doing entertainment here. We're not doing bullshit. And a lot of last week was borderline BS. So what I'm getting at is how to talk to 7 people, I suppose, a group of people. It could be boy or girl. Boy or girl, boy or girl, boy. Say that 2 times fast. And it was really just what is, trying to play this down a little bit maybe, but what is a great way to, start a natural conversation maybe for both genders, both sexes. And the line is, plug your ears or turn off the audio for the next, I don't know, I want to be realistic here, next 5 or 10 seconds. And then maybe up to 45 seconds. I don't know, I'll do like a big hand motion when I'm done. Okay? But it's, the line is, "Hi, I'm not from around here, but ... You can finish that. And what I usually say is, hence not knowing how long this is going to take, I usually say is, in the context of meeting new people, I say, and it's fun, or if it's done best if it's kept formal if you're the male sex, but if you're the female, did I say kept formal? Yeah. but if you're the female, you kind of want to turn it. I use the word ratchet, but it's like one of those trendy new words. You wanna dial it down instead of keeping it classy, and that's just female humor, and I give examples and stuff. All right, we're back. Hello. Okay. So anyway, aside from that, I don't really know what to. I didn't really bring anything to the table to discuss, except sort of putting that out there because this guy might be, I did tell them, I said, but if that stuff's gonna like go on a YouTube video, I told him I'm an aspiring, public figure, and I would hope to do it first. So here we are. All this mess just from talking to people, and yes, they did kind of look like, I don't know who here gets laid the most. Sort of folk, especially after pulling that card. I started to look at some people side-eyed. I didn't really, like I said, prepare as much, and just wanted to get into maybe just rapping, flapping the gums. I don't really do anything, and I've just been working and doing the same usual stuff I usually talk about. Maybe once, in terms of my highlight this week, I did it once this week. I'm not talking about exercising. That might be once or twice, whatever. The point is, stay decent, folks. Stay decent. I'm realizing, there's probably things that motivate us, and then we get one helps motivate the other, and I'm just trying to put it all together. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's chaos out here, as you know. But yeah. So hope you're doing well. I don't know. I mean, in terms of what's in the news, I don't even. I mean, I listened to a podcast about China infiltrating the sort of tech industries in terms of making, weapons technologies, and how they go about that. And it seemed like very human, at least the podcast I listened to. I'm trying to remember what this was. I only listened to about 4 or 5 or something, but maybe it was a New York Times The Daily podcast where, the Sunday read. I guess some guy just reads an article or something. But yeah, that was fun. And then I watched a video recently about, I mean, is this stuff, I don't want to look like that guy, but is this stuff fun for you? It was, uncovering or not really, but, bringing to light some more stuff from the 9/11 incident, and how some CIA and some guy named Abani or something, Amabu or something. I don't know. It had a B in it. And I think it started with an A. I can't remember, but some Mediterranean restaurant, and the video Breaking Points from YouTube. Sometimes I get my news from these guys. It's just whatever pops up. I probably already talked about this before, but whatever crops up is what I watch. So I haven't really been up to speed on any drama in, let's say, my industry or the industry that I'm trying to squeeze into. So nothing exciting here, and frankly, the sooner we end this one, the better. I'm just hoping to give you guys a great vibe, because you guys have been giving it to me over the last 3 weeks, and then get out of here. And look at that, the time is up. Glad we accomplished fairly, arguably nothing. It's time to go. Let's see, last thing. I'm able to check like all the interactions and stuff as well. So I set that up as well. So hopefully that works out for us as well next week. A lot of problems through the weeks because I was doing it spontaneously, but I have it handled. Okay, guys, have a good one. See you next week, and keep up the good work. Cheerios.